Hello to everybody joining. Hope you're all well, had a great day, or maybe it's the start of the day. I know we have people from around the world joining this webinar, so wherever you are and whatever it is you're up to, hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining us today. I'll be starting in a couple of minutes, just because I've had a few people message me before the webinar, the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, explaining that they'll be a few minutes late. So, rather than sort of kicking off, just wanted to give it a couple of minutes before people joined and let everybody sort of filter in so they don't miss anything. So yeah, we'll just be waiting just a minute or two. So yeah, make yourself comfortable. Maybe get a cup of tea, get a coffee, whatever it may be. Just give it a few minutes as we let everybody sort of come in and filter in. I also hope you're all really looking forward to this. It's been really cool to sort of market and to sort of dive into. I think there's going to be tons of value in there for everybody in terms of what it is that we're going to be going over. Again, I'll cover that in a couple of minutes, but yeah, really, really excited for this one. I can see Abdel Latif. Hey, Abdel Latif, how are you? Hope you're well. For sort of context, or maybe everybody joining and whilst we're waiting, I'm calling from London today. So yeah, it's around 7 p.m. here. You can probably tell in the background I'm not at home. This is, sort of within the office. But yeah, calling from London today. All of us at SlideSpeak, we are a global team. We're spread across Europe. But yeah, right now I'm based in London. So yeah. Again, we'll just give it another minute or two, guys, as we wait for a few more people to join. I appreciate, sort of coordinating this across the world is quite hard. So whether you're just finished work or you're on your lunch break or you're going to work, or maybe it's the middle of the night, I don't know. We'll just give it a few more minutes before we kick things off, okay? And if you are here already, introduce yourself in the chat, let people know sort of what it is you get up to, what it is that you do, where you're calling from. I can see Konstantinos from Athens, Greece, amazing. Sabrina, a professor from Azerbaijan, really, really cool. I know we're going to have a lot of use cases for yourself in terms of being a professor. Really cool to see the global reach that we've got going on with this webinar. So yeah, we'll just give it one more minute and then we'll kick things off, guys. And we'll get through this. I've got quite a lot to cover, but all really useful stuff. So yeah. Okay. You can see people coming in, really, really nice. Again, introduce yourself in the chat. Could be a good chance to network. Here we go. I've got somebody from Miami. Love that. Really, really cool. Leonardo, how are you? Hope you're well. Nice. Got somebody from South Africa. Awesome. Manchester, not too far in England. Yeah, really, really cool. Awesome stuff. Cyprus. Okay, love that. So yeah, we really are going global with this webinar, which is really cool to see. And then we've got Remy in Indonesia. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, really, really cool to be surrounded by everybody from sort of around the world. Shows that AI really is global. We're going to be touching on all of that. So I think that's probably long enough. I think we should head into it. I think we should get involved. More people will join as and when, but thank you to everybody who sort of introduced themselves so far in the chat. Keep it coming if you want to sort of. There will be a question and answer section at the end, but if you have any comments that come to mind as we're going through this, please feel free to thread them into the comments channel. So welcome everybody officially to the Building AI into Your Workday webinar. We're going to be going through a practical guide, and we are powered by SlideSpeak. That is the company that is hosting. Seeing more people coming in, amazing. That's the company that's hosting this webinar. So yeah, I think let's, before we get into all the AI stuff and before we go really sort of head on, I wanted to introduce myself. I spoke with a lot of you on LinkedIn. We've sort of had conversations about the webinar, about your use cases. It's been great to speak with you all, but as an official introduction, my name is Lewis Bull. I'm a founder's associate here at SlideSpeak. So maybe you're wondering, what does that mean? What do I do? So I sort of sit across a lot of areas of the business. So pretty much anything that's sort of non-sort of coding, I help with. So operations, processes, sales, finance, marketing, yeah, project management. So for me, that involves a lot throughout the day, and that's why sort of AI is really important, and I think it can really help. So I began that sort of journey. Well, I've been at SlideSpeak for a couple of months now, but I began the AI journey over 18 months ago now. And I think I probably started it like a lot of you did. Saw ChatGPT trending, thought, let me check this out. Tried it, thought, wow, this is amazing. And then probably didn't touch it again for a couple of months because I thought, okay, it's really cool, but when am I actually going to like use this? Now, as the model and as the company OpenAI became more developed, released new models, more use cases became available, I thought, okay, this is going to be quite important to not only sort of further my career, but just in a day-to-day role, it's going to save me so much time. And that's exactly why, I create this webinar, because I think a lot of people maybe have a vague understanding of AI. Maybe you don't know it at all, and that's why you're here. Perfect. This webinar is going to cover use cases for all sort of knowledge types, from beginner to advanced. But I think it's really important to start to integrate AI into your workday, because it can save you so much time. And there's just a little bit of a learning curve at the start to adapt to a few things. But ultimately, I want to save you time at work. I'm sure you want to save yourself some time as well. So that's sort of why I create this webinar. I think it's important to actually put a bit of context behind not just ChatGPT, but all the other tools that we are going to be running through today. So speaking of those tools and everything that we're going to go through, the agenda is we have 5 tools that we're going to be looking at. Perplexity, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and SlideSpeak. Now, I'll be willing to bet that the majority of people are using ChatGPT. Maybe let me know in the comments what other tools you are using, because there might not be these tools. It'd be really cool to see what other tools you guys are using. But yeah, they're the 5 tools that we're going to cover in quite a lot of detail. We're going to go through examples, use cases, like where you would actually use this in your day-to-day role. That's one thing with webinars sometimes. They don't always have the practical guide. They don't always have like, okay, here's how you can go and use this. And that's what we're trying to do with this webinar today. Then once we've gone through all of the tools, we'll have a bit of a recap, go through everything we've discussed, and then we'll have a chance for you guys to ask some questions and a bit of a Q&A. I know there's probably going to be a few questions, so that'd be really cool. So yeah, I suppose we should kick things off. So the first tool we're going to look at is Perplexity. A little bit about Perplexity. You can see here replacing Google search. Quick question, maybe people in the comments could have a few answers here. What is your go-to search engine? So when you need to find something out on the internet, what search engine are you using? I'm guessing I know the answer, but I'd like to see this in the comments if that's okay. Okay, cool. So we've already got you using Perplexity. That's really cool. Yeah, so we've got some Google there, which I thought. We have a few other people using that. Awesome. Claude from Anthropic. Okay. All right. So we've got a really cool mix. So the cool thing about Perplexity, okay, Safari, yeah, awesome. So the cool thing about Perplexity is that it is more like an answer engine as opposed to, okay, I'm seeing lots of Google coming through now. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and some ChatGPT as well, really cool. Okay, probably the overwhelming majority of you use Google, but then we have a few other AI tools here and there. So just a quick reminder of the search engine with Google. It tries to give you an answer as quickly as possible. As you can see with this example, what is the value of the Premier League? It's giving me the broadcasting rights and sort of highlighted that. That wasn't quite what I asked it. It wasn't quite the information I was looking for. And then below, we can sort of see like related search terms that probably will help me answer. And then maybe I can scroll further down, but I'm still having to sort of comb through the links myself and understand and read through. And also the results are often ranked by algorithms like SEO, domain authority, and that kind of thing. So you're not always seeing the most relevant or the source and the link that's going to get you the answer the quickest. Again, lots of user effort required. If you are lazy like me, you don't want to read through too many links, then it's really cool to use something like Perplexity, where you will get immediate answers to your questions because it scans through the sources for you and summarizes those insights and gives you a very quick answer. Here we can see, the same question applied on Perplexity. I'll let you have a quick read through, but you can see it's giving me the sources It's giving me the answer very quickly, and then it allows me to sort of read through some of the additional information. Now, I know some people have said they use Perplexity, but I also spoke to a lot of you beforehand, and you mentioned that you hadn't really heard of it. And I think this is a bit of a game changer in terms of an answer engine over a search engine, because in Google, it's very different. You know, these links, you've got to go through them. You never know to sort of trust them. Whereas with Perplexity, you get the answer, and then it tells you where it got it from. It's just a much quicker answer that you'll receive. So in terms of an actual example, we talked about this webinar focusing on, you know, use cases in a practical sense and what it is that you could do at work. Maybe I need to understand an industry really quickly for a project at work. So here is what Perplexity looks like. If you haven't used it before, but you've used ChatGPT, you'll probably see a similarity. It looks quite similar. It's pretty aesthetic, if I'm being honest. Gives you some suggestions to go through. You can attach some documents. You have a toggle for the pro or the free version. It has both. So I recommend, if you want to try it, to use the free version. I think you get 5 searches a day before you have to upgrade to the paid version, to the pro. So yeah, it looks really, really cool, really, really simple. And you'll just type in your question here. Now, the brief here is that the client is considering moving into the telecoms industry, but it's just in the UK, so it's not global. So we don't need to know, you know, sort of masses. I need to quickly understand the industry landscape. I need to understand sort of like, you know, trends, key players, challenges, and it's quite time sensitive. It needs to be for this year because the, you know, the clients are like moving into it now, and I need some quick information. So I typed that into Perplexity, and as you can see, it gives me a list of all of these sort of trends straight away, which is really, really important because I don't have to then spend time going through articles, going through links to then try and find an understanding. All I need is a quick answer from this. I don't need to spend an hour of my day going through sources. It gives me the sources that I want, but then it summarizes them for me, so I can understand that, okay, 5G expansion innovation is quite a big part, fiber and broadband growth again, and then I can choose if I want to delve further into those topics. So I think you can see here how, as opposed to Google, you would just literally get back a lot of links that you can investigate, and maybe it will suggest something that it thinks is the answer. Whereas, you know, Perplexity is much more, I suppose, accurate and reliable. And that's why I think a lot of you have mentioned that you use Perplexity already. And I would honestly recommend Perplexity so much. I think as an answer engine, using answer engines over search engines is so, so important. I know Google is slowly adapting sort of their search engine to try and become more like an answer engine, but right now your best bet on the market is Perplexity. And also, what's sort of quite important is you can filter out the searches. So maybe, you know, it's not the use case of a work on a client project. Maybe you just need something for a paper, or, you know, sort of at school, or maybe you're a professor and you need to write a sort of a paper and you need some sources. Here you can sort of specify the type of content that Perplexity is going to go through, and that's really, really cool because it allows you to sort of make the search like fit your use case, which I think, you know, as in terms of like making the most of your time, that's really, really cool. So yeah, you can access that, as you can see here. Just click focus, and then you can edit your searches going through. So yeah, that is sort of Perplexity. Just a quick recap of everything we discussed there. Ultimately, I'd say if you were to take anything away from this, Perplexity is going to save you time, a lot of time. I'm speaking like that from experience. Unlike ChatGPT, it's going to give you, you know, sort of the latest sources because it's going through search engines and sort of live and ranking them. It's going to summarize information for you, so you don't have to go through and read all the sources, which is such a time saver. And you can ultimately filter the search as well. So you can choose which content types you want to use, which again, not only going to save you time, but it's going to be much better for your use case. No point going through like the web if it's got to be a very sort of like technically sound and educationally accurate paper. So yeah, really, really cool. And that is Perplexity. Again, if you do have any comments, any thoughts, feel free to sort of share them in the channel. I can see a few coming through, and I'll get to them sort of as and when I can. But yeah, we've just gone through Perplexity there, and hopefully you've learned something new there, or maybe it's just sort of confirmed why you do use Perplexity. But yeah, if you are one of those people that said you use Google, I'd recommend at least trying Perplexity. As I say, really, really easy to understand, really easy to use, lovely interface. So yeah, that is the first tool. The second tool we're going to go through is probably going to be one of the most popular here, or at least the one that everybody's tried. Yeah, ChatGPT. On average, how often would you say you use ChatGPT? Maybe I can get some comments here again. Maybe is it daily? Is it weekly? Do you never use it? Let me know. It'd be really cool to sort of see how often you guys use it. Yeah, your new friend. That makes sense. Me personally, it's a daily basis for me as well. So you're not alone in that. Yeah, daily. Cool. Awesome. Weekly. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, daily. All right. So what I've tried to do with ChatGPT here is, sort of explain it from the ground up, but then also, you know, add some sort of value to people that maybe do use it on the daily and miss some certain areas of it. But yeah, so ChatGPT is a large language model by OpenAI, and it's really, really useful. Okay, so three important points of ChatGPT that I think a lot of people miss is just the importance of the prompt. I think there's been so many times where maybe you're just trying ChatGPT out, or you're asking it a question. You need to give it you need to give it instruction. And well, maybe I should explain what prompt is. Sorry for those of you that aren't quite familiar. Yeah, you're just basically giving the AI an instruction. So you're asking the AI to do something, and that is the prompt. That's what you're going to type into the text box and ask the AI to do. On to the second point, you need to give the AI a sense of direction. You need to give it some guardrails of sort of, this is what I want. And then we're going to add a bit of context, and we're going to really sort of refine the prompt to make it, the best chance of getting the best outcome. Because ChatGPT isn't going to know about your business or about your role if you don't tell it, or even about the task. Like, there's probably going to be added context that you need to know. I see so many people all the time just complaining that the prompt's not very good, that the answer's not very good, but ultimately input, it gives you, a better output. If you give it a basic question, it's going to produce a basic response. So again, you might have heard this term like prompt engineering. There's actually people that have like roles sort of doing that as a full-time role, and that's how important it is. There's different ways that we can get certain stuff out of ChatGPT. Again, it will depend on the use case, of course. But yeah, I'd really, really recommend that when you are prompting, give it some guidelines. On that note, I like to use the RICE framework. So whenever I'm asking the AI to sort of, this is generally more for creating something for me. You can obviously interact with ChatGPT for ideas, for inspiration, that kind of thing. But if I'm asking it to create something for me, I like to follow this framework. So the role, so I assign the AI a role. I'll give it a clear set of instructions, and that's so important. Please make it as clear as possible. I'll add some context. So this is usually the information that I know that's going to be quite relevant. So like I said before, maybe it's about the company, maybe it's about the project, maybe it's about my boss that likes it being a certain way, of sort of like language or tone or something like that. Constraints. So maybe it's this summary should be a paragraph long. This summary should, this book should be, or this report should be a 5-minute read. Give it sort of a constraint so it knows. And then if you can, the example is discretionary. You don't always have to do it. But if you have an example piece of work that you know is very good and that you're happy with, then just provide it with an example and say, here's an example. So what we're going to touch on now is, and we're going to apply the RISE framework here, which is really, really cool, is we're going to use ChatGPT to write a social media caption. So this is just a basic example. This is what I was talking about before. So I need some Instagram captions for my eco product. Any ideas? So I've given it a little bit of context. It's about my eco product. You can see that the AI has come back with a lot. Some people look at this and think, oh, wow, that's a lot. That's really cool. But they're not actually that good captions when you read into them. There's a few emojis, but overall, I wouldn't say it's that good. Now, applying the RISE framework, I've decided to tell the AI that it's a social media manager. And I've given it an instruction. So I need you to create a series of Instagram captions that are brief, and then I've said, around 150 characters. And I've added the context. I've tried to explain what I want from each caption. As you can see here, highlight the product's environmental benefits. So it's really an environmentally friendly product. That should be reflected in the caption. And then you can see the constraints. So, well, we have the constraints in the 150 characters, but also the constraints in avoid overly technical language, because I want my users to be able to understand what it is that we do on a surface level, what the product does for them, as opposed to going too deep into it, because not all of my audience is going to be able to receive that, right? So here you can see the RISE framework. Admittedly, there's no example here. So again, like I say, that one is discretionary. I've really found that to help me out. And you can apply that to, again, most roles, as long as you sort of provide the role to the AI and give it clear instructions, some context, and then some constraints, some guardrails. I really think you'll find yourself producing much better results. Now we're going to jump into some GPTs. So this is probably more for people that use it on a daily basis, but again, for beginners as well, this is really, really important. So GPTs are, how would I describe them best? They're sort of like specialized apps for specific tasks. Really, really cool for like niche industries. So you can see here, this is like the GPT store. So it's a bit like the App Store. So obviously we have ChatGPT. It's quite a varied model, does quite a lot. But then we go into like the GPTs store, and here we can see the actual use cases. So maybe it's like a GPT all about writing, or maybe it's like image generation or something like that. We can really sort of get specific with it. It depends on what it is you're looking for. And again, it's really, really cool for like niche industries that maybe ChatGPT isn't great for. So yeah, when you log on to sort of this app store, we'll call it an app store, filter by use case, find out, sort of what's on offer for what it is you need it for, and then read the reviews. You can see people's thoughts on it, if they've used it, if they liked it, all that good stuff. So yeah, really, 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 really important to use GPTs. You can access them just on the left-hand panel. So yeah, explore GPTs. Just on the left-hand side of your ChatGPT window. Yeah, in the comments, let me know. Have you used GPTs before? It'd be cool to see some examples that people have used maybe. Yeah, just fire in some comments if you use them. No worries if you haven't. In terms of like some of my favorite GPTs, I'll just give you guys a quick example. So Canva has a really cool GPT. You can see that the GPTs look exactly like ChatGPT's interface. So it's really, really simple. There isn't really a learning curve. It looks like the same window. And with this example, I asked it to create an Instagram story graphic, and I'll give it like a quote. You'll see that the quote isn't repeated verbatim. So I left this in there to sort of explain that like a Canva plugin is really, really cool for creating sort of like graphics. If you do want text at the top of it, it can be a little bit hit or miss. I think it's important to understand that, even the greatest GPTs have some flaws. So yeah, I think for a Canva GPT, we use it for creating content. I think you could as well. Maybe it's adding something to your slides. Maybe it's adding like a nice graphic to your social media post or whatever it may be. But yeah, the Canva one I'd recommend. Really, really cool. Humanize AI is another really good one. Sometimes when you are producing content or getting responses from the AI, it sounds a lot like AI. You'll know what I mean when you see it. It has sort of a similar flow, similar words that don't always like make sense being ordered a certain way. Humanize AI allows you to really make it sound like a human. I know it sounds quite simple, but yeah, you can really humanize, it in the name, your content with Humanize AI. Humanize AI, I really, really like it. And then ultimately we have the SlideSpeak one as well. So we're going to touch on SlideSpeak a little bit later, as I say, but we also have a GPT that I'd highly recommend. So you can try that on your ChatGPT. So yeah. Awesome. Again, for your ChatGPT and getting the best responses, it's really, really really important to customize your ChatGPT. So when I found this out, I kicked myself because it would save me so much time. So you can do two things here. You can give it custom instructions, so tell it more about you, your role, maybe your company, just sort of add a context about you, and it will use that going forward. And then also, how do you want it to respond? I'm sure some of you have seen it when the AI responds, and it's like always gives like a greeting at the start. It's like, sure, here is the summary of the project report, and then it gives you the content. You can stop that. You can just say like no no greeting or like introduction, go straight to the content. Or in my case, I was using this for sort of combing through some papers and stuff like that and some reports. I needed bullet points because I wanted to be able to skim. I didn't want large paragraphs that were going to be quite long to read. And again, for people that maybe aren't overly technical, but maybe you're researching a technical subject or like a scientific subject or something like that, use simple language, avoid the jargon. If there is technical terms in there, explain it to me, make it very simple. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this. In terms of like where you can find this, just in the top right, you can see your icon. Click on that, and you can see the customized ChatGPT section there. So yeah, would really recommend that if you haven't used it already. It's super cool, and you'll probably see a difference in your responses. And the more you use it, the more it will kick in. Okay, so sort of summary of that then. Again, we're saving time. Probably going to be applied across all of these here. But yeah, generate ideas, refine content, generate content, whatever it may be. It's going to save you time. Even if it's just to ask for an opinion on something, it really can help, particularly if you're just you alone. Maybe it's late night in the office, you're going through something. How does this sound? Or what's your sort of thoughts on this? And you can just get an opinion. We also have the RISE framework. So we want to make sure there's a quality input, right? And the RISE framework is a really good starting point of that. GPTs, it's a chance to sort of specialize and really use something for a particular use case. I'd highly recommend that. It's so useful, particularly if you have like one-off work, maybe it's like a one-off project that you're not going to touch too much going forward. Yeah, really recommend the GPTs. And yeah, make your ChatGPT work for you. Give it some instructions. So tell it what you want, and it will oblige. Really important. So yeah, hopefully with that summary of ChatGPT, I know we have a wide variety of people here today, but hopefully that's given you a bit more information on how you can use it and things you can sort of add to your routine to just get a bit of a better performance, let's say. Okay, just thought I'd take the time now just to thank people that are going to be sort of sharing this across their network. I know a few of you have told me you're going to be sharing this, which is really cool. And yeah, again, people that if you want to, I'd really appreciate that. It'd be cool. I think people said they're going to share it across like to their students, to the teams that they work in. So yeah, that's really awesome to see and hear. So thank you in advance to people that have said they're going to do that, and also to people that will be doing that if you feel comfortable. So thank you very much. The next one we're going to touch on is Microsoft Copilot. So this is particularly good for obviously people that use Office 365 apps, right? So in our work, you're probably going to be like one or two ways. Maybe you're on Google Workspace or you're on Office 365. Luckily for you, I'm covering both today, but let's focus on Microsoft Copilot. It's quite new. I don't think too many people have used it really. So this is going to be really interesting to show you some of the use cases. So Copilot is obviously different to ChatGPT, right? But the easiest way to describe it is like having sort of like an AI assistant, like a ChatGPT in your computer. So it's built in and it's accessible within all your apps in Word, in PowerPoint, in Excel. They're the three main ones that a lot of people use. There are other ones, of course, that you can go through, but these are really cool. So you get like an editing assistant with Word. In PowerPoint, you can have like a slide designer. In Excel, you get like an analyst, a data analyst. If you were to ask me the best use case for Copilot, I'd probably say Excel. I can see somebody in the comments has mentioned that sometimes it can be a bit strange, a bit hit and miss. I've also found that, and that's why I sort of think that Excel, I found it to be the most reliable because it's a lot harder to hallucinate when you have like hard facts and data there, and you're asking it for formulas and things to do. But we'll discuss use cases for all of these because we have a varied group here tonight, so we want to make sure that we cover everybody. So first, we're going to look at analyzing data. Just talked about Excel and how good it is, so let me show you. You'll find Copilot at the top right of your window. So this is just a basic data set, right? This is just an example, sort of talking about different products that are being sold around the world to different age groups and demographics. Maybe I'm a sales manager, maybe I'm marketing, maybe I'm in operations. All people like that would touch data sets like this, right? But maybe you're not as good at Excel as you'd like. So here we go. I can simply prompt the prompt a Copilot to show me the most profitable product category in North America, because I'm a regional manager of North America and I need to understand the most profitable product category. Here we can see I insert a prompt on the side. It gives me not only the answer, it then offers to insert that answer into the sheet, so I can have it sitting at the side of my data set, which is really, really cool, because maybe I just need to note down the figure, right, in my notes. But ultimately, being able to insert it into the sheet is very, very cool. So this is just like a basic example. But then also maybe a bit of a more detailed one is to, we all will probably create charts and graphs, I'm guessing, if we're handling data in our roles. So yeah, create a scatter plot showing the relationship between advertising costs and revenue across all regions, and I've given it time. And then we can see here, it gives me the answer. And that isn't too complex to do in Excel, but it saved me a lot of time. And that's what's really cool, is it's not only like the ability to give you information, like in the last example, it's analyzing the data and giving me the information, it's then able to produce stuff as well on top of that. And here you can see, like, I insert that next to the sheet. Really, really cool. You can also add it to its own separate sheet if you want to keep all your data separate. So yeah, so that's Excel. Again, it's not always perfect. In Excel, my experience has been pretty good. I can see some of the comments saying that for Word, it's best for them. Completely understandable. Yeah, again, with Copilot, it can be a little bit hit and miss, but some of these use cases are really, really cool. I'd recommend trying it out if your business and your employer offers it. So again, let's look into Word. Somebody talks about Word in the comments, and here we are. So I've just pretty much given it a quite big prompt. I've just created a project proposal. I've given it information on what I want titled and what I want included and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, quite a big prompt, and something that would probably take me a long time, at least to get like an outline. And here, I'll let you guys read the prompt for a minute. But yeah, again, this could be like not just a project proposal. This could be create me, a meeting notes template, or create me a table on certain things. Really, really applicable to a lot of roles, I think, because a lot of us will use Word. So yeah, whatever prompt you can think of, you can probably try it and it'll give it a go. And here's the outcome of that. Don't worry about sort of reading the text too much. You can sort of clearly see that it's followed the prompt and given the title. It's got the objectives, bullet point list. It looks quite good, considering it's just a prompt. I'll obviously jazz that up a little bit, but yeah, Copilot's going to get you, probably about 80% of the way there. And now we'll look at it in slides. This is probably the most hit and miss side of Copilot. It's not as great as something like SlideSpeak for creating presentations, which we'll touch on a little bit later on. But this example, I just wanted a presentation for a marketing strategy. My company, the marketing strategy for 2024, we've got a meeting. I need to prep the team. I'm going to touch on, sort of everything. It's going to give me all that information, and then I can go in and fill in the details myself. That was the thinking behind this prompt. And here is the result. It's not bad from just a basic prompt. Obviously, I'd want to tweak, certain bits of it, but it's given me a pretty good starting point. And yeah, it's really cool that you can use Copilot across the Office apps. You can also use it in your Outlook email as well, just for like, maybe it could be rewriting an email, or, sort of flagging. One thing I sort of have used it for is like, show me all of the emails with unsubscribing. So, when you're sort of like silent to spam, you can go through that and filter through it. So yeah, not only do we have, like a data analysis in Excel, we have the creative assistant in PowerPoint, we have the content editor in Word. You can then apply it to across the board in terms of Office. So obviously this is for Office users only. So some of you that might not apply to, and it is an additional add-on to use Copilot on top of your existing subscription. I think last time I checked, it was like $20 per user extra per month. I think it depends on the existing license that you have. So maybe you need to speak to your boss or your employer. But I definitely recommend giving it a go, because I think it can be pretty good. But don't expect it to do absolutely everything for you right now. As it improves, obviously. So yeah, as people have said in the comments, can be a little bit hit and miss, but also when it hits, it's pretty good. All right, now on the other side, we're going to look at Google Gemini. So obviously the G Suite, people that use sort of Google Workspace. Again, I've used that same analogy, like having a ChatGPT integrated into the workplace, because again, like Copilot, it's positioned in all of your apps. Like it's really, really cool. It's in like docs, sheets, and slides, and we'll go through the examples later on. But also, what's worth mentioning is this is Gemini Advanced. So this is like their version of ChatGPT. So it's like a chatbot, like an LLM. Maybe the best thing about it compared to ChatGPT is the fact that it has updated information, because they are Google themselves and they have access to obviously their search library and all of the sources, where ChatGPT is trained on data, like historic data, so it can be a little bit late. It's not always up to date. Whereas with Gemini Advanced, you're going to get much more up-to-date information, which can be pretty useful. And it's included in your Gemini subscription, so you might as well give it a go. Again, yeah, the best part about this is probably updated information. It's definitely had a few versions. I don't know if people have seen that, like Gemini has changed names over like the past couple of months and years, and had some controversies with like the images and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're in a much better place now with Gemini, and let's sort of launch into a few of those use cases. So again, the three main use cases is probably going to be documents, sheets, and slides. So we'll be using it for docs for editing assistant. We're going to go through sheets to all that kind of stuff. So we're going to use Google Gemini to explain some data sets to me. Let's just say I have been given a data set from a manager. I'm not 100% sure what it sort of means or says. It's quite a complex topic. Here we can see it's like about climate change data. I've just asked Gemini to explain it to me like I'm a teenager, because I don't really understand it. And it's given me, as you can see, quite a lengthy sort of summary here, which is really, really cool, because I think often people think of like Excel and Sheets as very data heavy, and it is. But the Gemini and the AI can also explain and help me out there, which is really, really cool, I think, because it doesn't always have to be about data analysis and about figures. Obviously, then at the bottom with the box that you see with the arrow pointing, I've asked it for, you can ask it for more of a create me a formula kind of thing that is then going to work for you. But I just thought the text explanation was really cool. So don't be put off by masses of data. When you're using an AI companion like Google Gemini, it really can help you understand that data. So yeah, don't be put off by other numbers and stats if that's not your use case. If it is, of course, feel free. You can try some really complex prompts here and see how it does. All right, we're going to be creating some slides now. So as you can see here, a little bit like the PowerPoint example, I've asked for a slide, and I've given it a title, and I talked about some of the features that I want including in it. You can see at the bottom that I have highlighted, it looks like a little document link. So what's really, really good about Gemini is you can reference other documents in your G Drive. So I had from the product team, they sent me the product features on a document, and then I've used that as reference to the AI to say, cool, create me this slide. Here's everything you need to know. It's going to talk to the product features document and end up producing me a really cool slide. And how you do that, I'll cover a little bit later on, but it's just typing the @ symbol, and then it will bring up your ability to like reference all the other documents and information in the G Drive. This is what it produced, which I think is pretty good considering, again, obviously you can cross-reference this with any information that you sort of had in the product features. But overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I'll need to tweak it and go through it, but I'd say it's a pretty good attempt, and that's Google Slides. Now, content, again, even if you're not writing content, you're probably going to be sort of within Docs or Word in whatever role it is you're in, making notes, or, whatever it may be. In this example, we have some meeting notes as an example. So this was a SlideSpeak, our company. We're going through the meeting notes, and yeah, here we can see them. I need a quick summary of this to report back to one of the guys that was off last week. So just summarize this document in one paragraph. Then it's going to summarize it for me, and I can choose if I want to insert that into the document or not. Because if it's not very good, I don't want it in there. So yeah, you can just click insert with this button that's circled, and then you can see it's been inserted. But actually, I want to edit it a little bit. So I've highlighted it, I've clicked the edit pen, and now I can use the AI to maybe change the tone, you sound more formal. This guy's more senior than me, so I need to make it sound a lot more impressive, a lot more sort of work focused. Maybe I could edit the length. It's a little bit too long for a summary. He's a sort of important guy, in and out, just wants a quick 2 line, 3 lines, something like that. or you could just bullet point it, and that's really, really simple. So again, that's sort of like 2 use cases. You can get a summary and then also highlight the text to sort of edit it to your preference. I touched on this just briefly a few slides ago. So using the @ symbol, so it's so powerful. It can have obviously references to other documents, or you could use it as a building block. So maybe with the meeting notes, it's before the actual meeting now. I don't actually need it. And I need to, I don't actually need it. I need to create like a template for the meeting notes. So I'm going to press @ I'm going to go to the building block meeting notes, and I'm going to produce a quick sort of template for mine and Kevin's meeting on October 9th, which was yesterday. It was a great meeting. But yeah, here we have that. I think that's so important. It can give you, like I say, a starting point, save you a lot of time. Really recommend using the @ symbol, using the building blocks. So again, stuff that we've touched on here. Again, I apologize to people that maybe are Office 365 users and don't always use this, but again, we have a wide variety of people joining. So yeah, we can see with Google Sheets, data summary, we need that information, we need it to explain to us, and formula creation, create presentations from prompts with Google Slides, content summary, building blocks, so important. Remember that @ symbol, so useful. And then obviously Google Workspace. In terms of how much it costs, I think again it's a little bit more expensive. It's like $21 per user, additionally to the Google Workspace plan that you're on. A lot of you are probably going to have to speak to your bosses after this and ask for sort of an upgrade. But I think it's pretty cool. And again, with Gemini, it's come out quite recently. It's going to be improving, and it's going to really help across. All right, now through to my favorite one, the final tool that we're going to be touching on today. Time really is sort of flying, but this, we've left enough time for this one. The most important tool, I think, SlideSpeak. So, we're all creating presentations in the roles. If it's a role sort of in an office behind a desk, we're probably all going to be having to create presentations at some point. So it's super applicable to the audience. And basically, we're going to be able to create a presentation in minutes, and we're going to use AI for that. Quick little few stats on SlideSpeak. So, we did a study and found that on average, with users, reduce the workload by 67%, which is insane. Like, 2/3. That is a lot of time given back to people, and we do that because we let the AI do the heavy lifting. SlideSpeak also had the same chatbot like ChatGPT, which can be really cool. We'll touch on that again in a couple of slides' time. And all the data is safe and secure. No data is used to train any models because of the way that sort of SlideSpeak is set up and running off the Microsoft Azure OpenAI API. Quite a technical term, but all you got to know is that data is safe and secure and not used to train any models. So 3 huge use cases of SlideSpeak is the ability to create a presentation from a topic, so like from a prompt, from text, your ability to create a presentation from a document, and then to redesign a presentation. So we're going to go through all of these. But first, let's just create a presentation from a text prompt. So maybe I'm just an office manager. My day-to-day is sort of spent out in the office, making sure everything's stocked up, making sure that everything's sort of to regulation. But my boss has asked me to present like a hybrid working guide. I don't know too much about it, so I'm going to use this as a quick prompt to give me a bit of a presentation on the future of hybrid working. And that's a pretty simple prompt that you can see there. Now comes the customization part, which is what's really cool about SlideSpeak. So you can add images if you like. SlideSpeak supports stock photos as well as AI-generated images, which is really cool. I need to edit the tone. I want it to be professional because it's going back to my boss. I'm going to be presenting this, so I'm going to tick add speaker notes, and it's going to produce speaker notes based off all the content. And then obviously I can select my language and the amount of text. So if I want it to be quite short, because I'm going to be speaking a lot, I can click concise. If I want it to be quite long, because I want as much information as possible, text heavy. But this customization element is really cool. And obviously the length of it is really important as well. Is it a short presentation? Is it average 8 to 12? Yeah. Then the AI is going to produce me a bit of an outline of the presentation, some sort of like headings, and you can edit these as well to guide the AI, which is really cool. You can like reorder them, or you can just edit the title and the text. So you get a chance to make sure the AI is on the right track. Then we're going to be able to, there's a lot of customization here. Then we're going to be able to select the designs. SlideSpeak has 14 slide designs, which are really cool, slide templates that you can choose, so you don't have to worry too much about having your own, although we do support that. We'll get onto that soon. Here you can see all of the designs. Click the design, and this is what it's going to produce for me. Now, I think that looks pretty good, especially if you're using it as maybe a starting point. I want to edit some text. Okay, SlideSpeak supports that as well. We have the in-app editor that we can use. Just click onto some of the text, retype it, boom. And then you can download that to PowerPoint or as a PDF, but I'll show you that again a little bit later on. Now, the one that probably is most important to a lot of people is we have sort of work files, work documents that we need to make a presentation from. Here, this is M&A trends in 2024. It's a 90-page PDF. It's massive. It's got loads of charts. It's quite hard to understand. And the use case is like I'm a junior associate and I need to update my team on these M&A trends. So I need to know M&A trends inside out and also be able to produce a presentation on them. So quite a lot of stuff to do. Start off, I'm just going to ask for a quick summary to gain understanding. So this is the SlideSpeak chatbot that we talked about. As you can see with the user interface, really, really nice, really, really simple. So I'll get a quick summary. Turns out that my boss actually wanted me to focus on one sector. So now I need the AI to tell me about the chemical sector. Okay, cool, no worries. The SlideSpeak chatbot can do that. And it will also then reference where it got the information from. So you have the source pages, which is really, really cool. So you can go back and double check, or maybe you want to pull some data directly from those pages. You can do that. So you get to see all of where it's come from, and you can turn that chat into a presentation, which is going to be really, really relevant because, yeah, you know that that sector is going to be quite cool, quite important, or you can just create a presentation from the document as a whole. Your call. A bit like Google and Gemini, we can attach. Who doesn't love McKinsey? Yeah, okay, fair point in the comments. That's pretty funny. A bit like Google Gemini, you can attach multiple documents here, so you don't just have to do it from a PDF. Maybe you've got some like notes you've made that you want to attach. Maybe you've got some further like trend analysis that you want to include. SlideSpeak supports Excel files, PowerPoint files, PDFs, or documents. So pretty much all documents that you need. And then again, we can customize it. I'm not going to walk you through the entirety of this, but the good part is we can use wording from documents, and we can make it very similar language and ensure it's consistent, which is really important, particularly if it's like a technical document. And then we can see like it's going to produce something for us, which is really, really cool. Here you can see I've highlighted that you can download it as a PowerPoint or a PDF, and you can actually edit the PowerPoint as well, which is really, really cool. Like when you download it into PowerPoint, everything that we have created for you at SlideSpeak, you can edit and go through and adjust. So if you want to swap out the images, you can do that on SlideSpeak as well, but maybe you want to do it, on PowerPoint yourself. Okay, and the sort of penultimate example is, let's change the use case a little bit. Maybe now I'm a professor at a university. I know we've had a few of those in the chat, which are really cool to see. And I need to present this to my business school class. So the same PDF as the comments say, we love McKinsey, so we're going to use the same one. And I can select a custom template. So I've uploaded my school's template. And then here we can see I'm at the University of Michigan, and this is the lecture I'm going to present back to my class because it's followed all of the template guidelines. It's got the right colors. It's got the logo. We've added the images ourselves in SlideSpeak, but again, you could edit those yourself. And this doesn't just go for educational institutions. For so your daily work, you can upload your company templates and produce the slides to suit like the formatting and that kind of thing and the colors. So yeah, really, really important, and you can just take that straight into your presentation with your boss. Hope it goes well. Okay, the final example we're going to go through is the ability to redesign your presentation. So here we have the European Union presentation, pretty basic one, pretty plain. Yeah, I mean the content's okay, but the design's not very good. It doesn't look. I couldn't present this back, right? If I presented this on the webinar, you guys would be like, "Whoa, that's not very good." So then on SlideSpeak, we're gonna click the redesign presentation button, and I've uploaded my the European Union PowerPoint. You can see there. I'm gonna then select the design that I want to apply. As you can see, we have more designs here. Okay, already looks a lot better just from the title side. This is quite a minimalist sort of template. That's why you're seeing like a sort of bit of a gap between the text and the top, but relevant images, which is really, really cool to see. But it's not just, the front page. SlideSpeak also will like add sort of like slide type varieties, which are really, really cool. So we can see here much more engaging, much more sort of like visually appealing to touch on some of the key dates. So yeah, that's really, really cool. So not only is it like redesigning the actual like look, it's then inputting your information into some really cool interactive elements. So yeah, again, all you need is just the basic slides, and we'll do all the hard work for you. So yeah. Again, to summarize, from a prompt, you can create a presentation. From a file, supports a lot of file types. Takes around 2 minutes overall. And again, you can redesign your slides. And probably the biggest one is to use your company templates. Really, really cool, really, really important to be able to use them. We see tons of custom templates going up every day on SlideSpeak. So yeah, maybe that could be you. All right, so that's all of the tools. Let's do a quick wrap up. I've got a bit of a table here that you can see. I'm not going to sort of talk through every single one, but just maybe a summary and you guys can read through that. So with Perplexity, it's the answer engine and it's going to give you quick answers. That's the best part about it. As compared to Google, I'd say it's much more effective for getting an answer quickly, and then it will summarize and do a lot of the hard work for you. For ChatGPT, don't forget the importance of the prompt, maybe the RISE framework, or just giving it constraints and guidelines. Use your GPTs for specialist cases, and also for custom instructions, tell the ChatGPT what you want to do it for you, right? And then obviously we have Copilot, applicable for those of us that use Office 365. Really, really cool, really, really important to use on not only Word, PowerPoint, Excel, that kind of thing. Same with Gemini, use it across sheets, slides, and docs. And don't forget the @ symbol to do building blocks and reference all the documents. And then we obviously have SlideSpeak that we just touched on. So we support company custom templates, produce slides from file types. You can chat with your document and you can create your presentation in minutes. So a lot of the work is done for you. Now, just left sort of like a couple of minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes for a bit of a Q&A. I can see Sabrina asking how much does it cost. I'm assuming that's in reference to SlideSpeak. So SlideSpeak costs, I mean, you can try it for free, but then the paid model costs around $24 a month or $29 a month, depending on the features that you require. And that's just a monthly rolling contract. You don't have to commit for 12 months. Whereas I think with Gemini and Copilot, it has to be a 12-month commitment. You can't just keep it rolling. So yeah, that's SlideSpeak at $24 a month or $29 a month. There is a lifetime offer on at the moment, so maybe get that. Yeah, you'll see that on our website. Yeah, and obviously, I was going to mention that in the next slide. Thanks to all of you that are attending. We are going to offer you quite a large discount, a 30% discount on SlideSpeak for all webinar attendees. So I'll show you how to access that just after this. Have we got any more questions? Maybe anybody with anything to ask before we wrap things up? I think it's been quite a good session, an informative session. Gone through quite a lot. Hopefully, you guys are taking some value from this. But if there's any questions now, yeah, fire away. Okay, nice. I'm seeing the link with the discount. Awesome. I'll get you that. Leonardo. No worries. In the next slide. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so a link to, maybe I can continue this. Yes, so as a thank you for all of you attending and interacting, I want to offer you sort of like 2, I suppose, sort of free gifts. A discount towards the SlideSpeak platform, 30% off. The link is in the comments. It'll also be on the LinkedIn page for the webinar as well. So yeah, recommend heading over there. We're also going to offer an ebook, which basically summarizes everything that we have discussed in this presentation. So it's a 10-page ebook that touches on Perplexity, ChatGPT, SlideSpeak, Copilot, Gemini, everything like that. But yeah, in the comments, you'll find the link. In terms of like sort of future plans for SlideSpeak, it's probably worth me touching on that because I mentioned like the lifetime offer. So on the roadmap is the ability to fully edit things within the app. So at the moment, it's just sort of like the images and the text. We want to offer like different layouts kind of things, be able to alter layouts and everything like that. It'd be really, really cool to have, and we've got that in the plan. Somebody's asked for another session just on SlideSpeak. Maybe we have to do that next. That's maybe a great idea. Maybe it'd be really cool to do like a full demo of the SlideSpeak tool and talk through that. That'd be really cool. But yeah, In terms of future plans and in terms of for SlideSpeak, yeah, it's going to be around sort of like being able to fully sort of edit the presentation within the app. No need to export to PowerPoint or anything like that. That's probably the biggest thing we've got coming up on the radar. But again, no worries, George. No worries at all. Yes, and then to sort of round it up, seeing a few comments about sort of the slides. I will be obviously attaching a recording of this webinar. You'll get it access to it via LinkedIn. I can also send you the YouTube link as well, and whatever it may be. Everybody that's attended will be getting access to this entire recording, and also the obviously the landing page for the webinar, right? Which is where you're going to get your SlideSpeak access. So would really recommend you going over there. I can't explain to you how important it is to be able to save time and create presentations. I'm seeing a lot of thank yous coming in. No worries. Hopefully you took something from this. Hopefully, I'll see you at the next one. But yeah, for now, head on over to the SlideSpeak landing page, get your discount, get using SlideSpeak, give it a go. And obviously with the other tools as well, I'm sure you're using a lot of them. But hopefully now you have a bit of a better understanding. So yeah, I think if there's no sort of further final questions, I'll call it there. We've ended 4 minutes early, which isn't too bad. I was worried I was going to go over. But yeah, I can see everybody saying thank you in the comments. No worries. Thank you very much for attending. You'll all get a recording of this very, very soon. And yeah, head on over to that landing page to get your SlideSpeak discount. And have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are. It's been a pleasure to speak to you today. Okay, all right. Thank you.